Buddy, it's your birthday. Yeah, so it's not my birthday. My name is Ilalija Adeboale. This is the best sporting show in the whole of the universe. It's News is Santos Sports, here and of course on our band radio scope on our YouTube channel. You can view us on Twitch as well, and of course on Twitter live as it goes. I have with me the gang today. Unfortunately, we don't have Sheyi with us that would have told us more about how Adesanya lost his belt in the UFC last night. But of course, I have Orakukuchi that can do justice to that, and I have Olali with me. Welcome, guys. You guys can introduce yourself. Start with Orakukuchi.
Uh, Sports fans, beardless Oracle Kachi here. I probably lost my mojo, but I'm trying to make sure I have fresh beards to give you the best predictions for the forthcoming World Cup. But always a pleasure to be here. Congratulations to um, George Russell of Mercedes for finally winning his first race in Formula One. Mercedes also getting a 1-2 in the Mexican Grand Prix, the Brazilian Grand Prix. I apologize. Big things happening in the world of basketball and the UFC 281. Israel Adesanya, your reign was fun, but it's over. Stay tuned for a great
It's
one.
over. All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Of course, Olali, go ahead, please.
Yeah, um, good day, sporting fans around the world. Yeah, welcome to the show. It's I think the entire world is in the World Cup mood now. We are exactly a week to the finale. To the show, and surprisingly, well, some teams. I'm not even sure they've got it. As in, I'm not sure some of these teams have played together in a while. Some teams have some players that probably are just getting to know their colleagues, like a player like Madison has not played for England in 3 years. He has not even trained with some of his fellow guys. So it's going to look strange. At least I think the first round of matches is going to be more like friendly for some teams,
Mhm.
and we are waiting. We are really waiting for the World
Uh,
Cup. Welcome to
all
the show
right.
once again, guys.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Olali. We jump straight to the NBA. We know, I know I flogged this issue a little bit, but it's like flogging the dead horse. The way um Silver Andrews has come out at Carrie Ivy that it has to do whatever it is I need to do within 1 week. Those five pointers, you have to pay $500,000. Show us a 98. But he came out to say Kyrie is not anti Dre 100%, which at least it gives Kyrie a bit of succor. But Kachi, I'm just gonna. LeBron came out to say, "Come on, the guy already apologized. Leave him. Let him be. Let's just give him benefit of doubt."
Mhm.
KD came out today to say Kyrie is in good spirits and he's making good impression as well, quote and unquote. So looks like good times for Kyrie, and I hope definitely for Kyrie's sake and for the sake of his career, he will take those 5 pointers seriously and do whatever it is that needs to be done. Kachi,
Mhm.
is this like this timeline that they gave to Kyrie? Do you think is like too close, or Kyrie has been a problem child? Let's just give him this, and if he does not do it, would get at him, kind of thing.
Um, Thanks, Debo. The long and short of it is that the enormity of these corrective measures for Kyrie to take is due to the reputation Kyrie has, not based on the gravity of the offense, quote and unquote. It's his reputation precedes him, and that is why they are giving him this type of punitive measures before he is reinstated into the league. I said it last week, and I'll continue to say it. This issue with Kyrie is like killing an ant with a sledgehammer. Whatever Kyrie did on the spur of the moment was bad judgment on his part, but the way the league, the way the Brooklyn Nets, and the way the media is taking all this up is way beyond what I expect them to do. Now, asking someone to go for anger management, to go for anti-Semitic lessons or corrective measures, to publicly apologize. Oftentimes, I just
Yeah.
think it's too much too soon. Asking a young man who has a checkered history as Kyrie. We know that all it takes for Kyrie to check out of an NBA season is the Black Lives Matter, and he goes for 2 months, or the earth is flat and he goes for 3 months. Now you are asking him to do a lot of stuff that will not even ease the pressure off him. I'm
Yeah.
really happy with the fact that stalwarts of the league in the shape of LeBron and his teammate KD are coming out to stand by him. Notice that they did not say that what he did is correct.
It's
That's not
right.
what they are
Yeah.
saying. All
Yeah.
they are saying is when you beat a child with one, you use with one hand, you use the second hand to pull the child towards you. The Brooklyn Nets and the NBA with Adam Silver has not done that. It's setting a bad precedent, but it's much more unfortunate because it is Kyrie's reputation that has
That
led to
that
this.
that that's led to this.
I still say I said it. I remember saying it to you on our social media page, and based on what is happening, I totally believe that this is Kyrie's last year in the league. This
In
is
the
way
league.
too much for that young man to carry, and I'll be very surprised if he continues to play after this.
All right, perfect. Well, Ali, I'm going to come to you next. The league is shaping up. We are kind of separating the boys from the men right now. LeBron is out injured. More problems for Lakers with LeBron. They can't perform. I wonder how well they will without LeBron. But staying on the Brooklyn Nets, but the Brooklyn Nets team, ever since Kyrie um, got that suspension for 5 games. They've gone on a winning streak of 4 games. At this point, is it safe to say Kyrie does not really matter? It disrupts the talent is there, no doubt. But is it safe to say that Kyrie does not really matter? They can actually do without the drama and the baggages that he brings to the table. Lali.
If the goal of the Brooklyn
Lali, I can hear you. For some strangers, I can't hear Lali.
Yes, we seem to have lost his
Lost
sound.
his sound for
Um,
yeah. Oh, so
but with
Kachi,
yeah,
can you take over? Yeah.
if I take it off from there, and I'm not saying my opinion is what Olale would have echoed, but
Uh-huh.
understanding how Olale thinks and how he looks at this basketball, if the goal of the Brooklyn Nets is to compete and be competitive at the tail end of the league, then what they are doing now is probably the right thing to do, which is try and see if you can get chemistry with who you have
Yeah.
without Kyrie, simply because we don't yet know how the Kyrie case will taper off, right? You need to be
Yeah.
able to show that there is life to Brooklyn Nets without outside of Kyrie Irving. And if that's the case, if that is the goal, then they are doing a good job of it. I think they've also issued a bit of stability in appointing a coach who was already in the system as their new coach instead of bringing another troubled
Email
coach in
Doka.
Ime Udoka to add further drama to
I
whatever
don't,
is happening
I,
right now in the
I
south
don't,
side of Brooklyn.
I don't really agree with that. Anyways, I think Email Doka.
Adebo,
You may
hello,
not necessarily.
Yeah,
can you hear
Olale
me?
is back. Yeah, go
Yes,
ahead, Olale.
Olale
Okay,
continue
so yeah,
before
Kachi, please,
before
thank you.
Debo and I
I think
go
this
into fights.
my own point is this: if the Brooklyn Nets aim is just to probably be a playoff team, win a round, or even just make the playoff, yes, I think they are on the right course. But if the aim is higher, probably to get to the Eastern Conference Championship or to compete for the championship very well, you need a talent like Kyrie, because when it gets to the playoff stage, when you have to play like 6, 7 games, where everybody there this thing that we call see finish, you've seen yourself finish. Sometimes it boils down to some individual brilliance. I
Yeah.
was watching the 2016 finals, the game 7. I was watching Kyrie's highlight, as in some of the shots Kyrie were made in that
Made.
game were
Yeah.
just unbelievable. Like normal basketball guy, you should not even no coach should encourage you to even make those kind of. They were just too
Try those
difficult,
shots.
and it takes a very talented guy
Talented
to
individual
probably
to do that.
yeah an individual to do that. So my point is this: as much as Kyrie's garbage and issues are too much, I still don't think the Brooklyn Nets have enough talent to replace whatever he
In their
can bring
roster.
in offensively
Mm-hmm.
to give them any major success. Like if you look, with all due respect to whichever teams the Brooklyn Nets have played, I'm not sure they played during the short period of time we are talking about. They won against the Knicks. They narrowly lost to the Mavericks. They
Yeah.
defeated the Clippers yesterday, and
Yeah.
they won against the Hornets and the Wizards. Come on, it is not a Chicago Bulls. It is not like they've defeated a
The
Celtics
Up to
or
Warriors.
probably
yeah.
or Golden State Warriors. So I think um I think the sample size is not enough to give us the adequate information to make such conclusion. So for me, I think they will still need
To
it.
make such
But
conclusion, yes.
the only thing we probably just seen is defensively. I think they are better. The
Uh,
rotations are a little bit better now. I think the guys are communicating better. There are a lot of contested shots now. Nobody's
yeah.
just walking around. So it's
The
still a long
perimeters.
term game. We'll probably still wait to see what the Brooklyn Nets as a team,
What plays out?
but the one thing that we're not even talking about is the
Uh-huh.
Ben Simmons. He's been coming off the
We don't
bench
have to talk. We don't.
in the last
Yeah.
no in the last 4 games. I just want to know
Uh-huh.
is this going to be his role going forward? A player of that caliber who's
No.
going to be on that salary should never be a role
A
player
bench
who is not
player.
expected
I think more or less.
just to score 2 4
No.
points
No.
in
No.
the
I don't
game.
think.
So I
No.
don't know how
I
this
don't think
works
he's going to
out in the
be a role
future for the
player
Brooklyn.
or a bench player.
I think that is a
I think it's more
move.
or
I
less
think it's a yeah, go
move
on.
to ease him into. Yeah, it's a move
Exactly.
to ease him
Exactly.
gradually into the team. Given
Mhm.
when he started, he was not bringing so much into to the team. And like Kyrie noted before he went on the suspension, that is a gradual process. They have to ease him into the back into the team so he
Mhm.
gets the
Mhm.
leading back. But I don't think he's at his best right now. So for all we know, that shouldn't be the case unless there's something wrong at east side of the US. Of course, the Pelicans are still as it stands right now. Weyamba, correct me if I'm wrong, Kachi.
When Bayana.
When Brianna would be the number one draft pick and is going to Pelicans. But Kachi told me last week that there are discussions between Lakers and the Pelicans to see if they would be able to get something out of the trade. Kachi, you just want to tell us about that quickly before we move to the EFC.
Yeah. So the Pelicans, by virtue of the trade, the Anthony Davis trade, currently hold the LA Lakers first round pick in in next year's NBA draft,
Uh-huh.
and the Lakers, currently dead last in the league right now,
And
have
I don't
a
think that's
higher
going to change.
percentage have a higher percentage of winning the NBA lottery. Let's not forget that it is not necessarily because they are the last team that guarantees them the first pick. There
Oh
will
yeah.
still be a lottery done for the four worst teams in the league. It's just
Oh
that
yeah.
if you are the worst team, the worst of the very worst,
Uh-huh.
you stand a higher chance.
Chance.
Your names, you have more than a 25% chance of being the
The number
holder of
one
the number one
of the
overall pick.
draft picks.
Uh, Even up until yesterday, when I still checked up on sources following this, the feelers is that the Lakers are in negotiation with the New Orleans Pelicans management on
Oh wow.
potentially deferring that number one overall pick
Pick
to a
to
subsequent
20,
year. Uh,
2024.
Nothing concrete has been done. because I mean it's only about they are 2-9 now, just 11 games into the
Uh-huh.
season.
Uh-huh.
Early days. We're not saying the Lakers would from nowhere pick
Yeah.
up and become the darling of the league,
Yeah,
but
100%.
the negotiation has to wait until the league is well into its
Into
twilight
it. Yeah.
before they can finalize that. But that is what we understand right
You
now.
understand? All right. Perfect. Thank you very much for
But
that.
sorry, Labor, just one thing to add. If I'm the
Okay.
New Orleans Pelican, I'm not here to do the Lakers any favor. No matter what the condition, it is what it is. It is your
Get
chance to
to
get
negotiate.
better and get no. See, Debo, it's a generational talent. This is how the Brooklyn Nets, this is how the Celtics build their core
Their core.
using the
Yeah.
trade they did with the Brooklyn Nets for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. Paul
Yeah.
Pierce and Kevin Garnett trade is what translated to
So Jason
Jason
Tatum,
Tatum and
Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown today. Is those pick so for me, if you have Zion Williamson, if you have what's his name, CJ McConnell
Yeah.
in your squad, and you had a chance, a lifetime chance to add what do you call it to it? Victor
Wembayama.
Wembanyama.
Wembanyama.
You are not doing the Lakers because the Lakers took away Anthony Davis from you, even when it remained 1 year left in his contract, and they won a championship with it. So that one doesn't concern you.
They should
Let
they should
them
stick with
because
it.
the Lakers
let,
are
let,
they are
let's
destined. See, they are destined to finish. It's not even a guarantee because I'm sure now what they do is I think the last 5 or 6 teams will go into lottery to get.
A
But you know,
lottery,
the New
uh-huh.
Orleans
yes.
Pelicans have always been a very lucky team. They have a way of winning some of these
The
lotteries.
lotteries.
So I think the
but
Lakers
but
team
but
are destined to finish it within the last because there is no saving grace for them. Even with LeBron, they are bad.
that's the saddest part of
So
it.
for me, New
How
Orleans,
can you be bad with
New Orleans
LeBron?
is a small market.
Anyway,
You will
anyways,
not get any good player. What do you call it in the free
Free
agent?
agency, in
free
free
agent.
agency. So
Yeah.
that's to the
That
buyer
the only
draft.
chance for you
Let's
to
move
get good players
because
is
I'm
just
pressed for
through
time. Let's
the
move
draft.
straight to the UFC where we had a technical knockout for the nightmare of Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya, we know it's a generational talent as well, but Alex Pereira has defeated him twice in the kickboxing version of the sport. Now, for the first time in UFC. And the funniest thing is Israel was actually leading on points before that fifth round TKO. I feel bad for Israel, but people are be clamoring on the internet that the referee stops the match a little too soon. I don't see it that way. I feel if he are allowed to keep punching Israel will probably be the hospital right now with some kind of brain damage or whatnot. Kachi, I don't know what you think about that. It's so what next for Israel realistically
Realistically, it's for Israel
to
to be
challenge?
given a chance to challenge again. I'm not sure that was written in the contract because no one saw this coming. And you can tell no one saw it coming when the likes of music superstar Drake would bet the total almost $3 million on Israel to win the fight.
Is
It is
always can
official that Alex Pereira is Israel Adesanya's boogeyman
yeah,
right now.
100%.
Because he not only did he have boxing, he stayed away from Israel's long legs, even when Israel tried to mix in some wrestling in round 3. It makes for an interesting, 185-pound division because if Israel had won Pereira, then he would have officially beaten everybody in that weight class at least
Wow,
twice.
twice. Wow.
So that still stands. That's a bit of motivation for him. Israel does not automatically or immediately become a bad fighter simply because of this. It just means that he has to go and work on some other parts of
Welcome to
his
also part of
techniques and then
techniques. Yeah,
come back. But
yeah.
then the UFC is the biggest winner because if they get a second bite of this cherry, then it's I mean it's
It's
win-win for
going
them
to
right
win.
now.
All right,
Yeah,
perfect.
but credits to Pereira.
I know this is not your forte, but you have one or two things to say about it before we go on a quick break and start with the World Cup review.
Yeah, for me, I just think when it comes to UFC and boxing, the pattern and the lifetime, as in the pattern in which your career goes, looks very similar. If you start losing 1, 2 fights consecutively, there is a way the way you are perceived within your
Yeah,
category
your
gets,
stocks go
as in
down.
the way you are looked
Yeah,
at, um, your value tends to depreciate.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Your
uh,
stocks go down. Yeah,
go down easily. So for me, my major concern is how motivated you could be in the future to get back, and
into
because
the ring.
I think the last thing he can
it
afford now
does.
is another loss, or let me say even a draw. He needs a
But
win to.
Olawale, who else apart from Pereira can beat him? The only other loss he had was a weight class higher. Right
Higher
now
Yeah,
than
in his
him.
exactly.
division,
Okay.
yeah. So right now he only has one loss in the 185-pound weight class, which is Pereira. He is the number one contender. Even if if you lose to a champion, your stock does not go down. I don't see it. It is when you lose a contending fight before you face the champion that I believe your stock is affected.
Your
And
stock
it's
will.
similar to boxing.
Yeah,
Losing to Tyson Fury does not make your stock go down. You won, you lost against the champion.
but
And that's how I see it.
Pereira is not the champion. That's what Olawale is saying.
Pereira has taken his belt now. He's
No,
the champion now.
no. Before last night, Pereira was not the champion.
He was the
Israel was
number one contender,
Israel was
right?
the champion. So it's
But
easy.
Pereira was the contender.
If he comes back and Pereira beats him again,
Okay, let's put it in
that will be
perspective.
the beginning of the end.
What did James Buster Douglas do even
Uh-huh.
after beating Mike Tyson? Who was still the bigger fish in that pond?
It was, of course, it was Mike Tyson, but
That's
Tyson
what
went
it
to,
is. In that 185 weight class,
but Tyson went to jail. He went to jail
and
for
came
illegal
back and
gambling.
still became the biggest fish in that pond.
Oh, because he went to jail, for crying out loud.
No,
That's
no,
why he went to jail. He was in
no,
jail for like 5 or 7 years. Why? That's
no,
why.
no,
And
no.
honestly, I don't want to discuss Tyson, but we can't dismiss the fact I love Tyson, but Tyson did not do anything after he came back from jail.
Don't
He
say
did
that.
he
He
did
had
not
two
do
amazing
anything.
fights. He had two amazing fights with Holyfield.
Exactly.
Holyfield
He had
defeated him both
he had
times.
good runs.
It does not
He had
matter.
good runs.
Leon Swift defeated him. That's why I'm saying he did not do anything substantial. He did not win
It
any
does
major
not matter.
fights.
In fact, you can ascribe all that defeat to the fact that he wasn't active for 5 years.
Yeah, which is debatable, of course, when you look it side by side with what happened with Muhammad Ali, that was banned from boxing for more than 5 years, and he came back, defeated Joe Frazier, defeated and became the heavyweight champion of the world. So because he went to prison for 5 years does not give you an excuse to be that bad. Anyways, I don't want to date. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to disrespect Tyson. I'm sorry about that. No disrespect to Tyson.
Let's
Was just
go on. Let's go on.
So we've got a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll be previewing the Group B of the World Cup. I hope you guys enjoy what we've done so far. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.